Good evening and welcome to Week 3 of GameTyrant's League of Legends Winter Series 2020.
And we're your hosts, Alex, Honest Dragon, Leon.
And I'm Joel Jason Nielsen. Tonight we'll have some fantastic games coming up. What do we got showing up?
So tonight we got two different games. We got Gar Crush 3 going against Thick Boys, as well as afterwards, Needlessly Large Rods will then face Thick Boys as well. So
Absolutely. Yeah, we do have Gar Crush 3 and Thick Boys. And I'm very excited for how these teams are going to really match up because they've got winning records. They're not on the losing end of the standings. In fact, I believe we do have the standings if we want to take a look at those.
Yep, it looks like down to Flash. So
they're in first with the 4-0.
But also Gar Crush 3 or Gar Crush 2 and Thick Boys. So it's a three-way tie for first.
Mm-hmm.
And today we'll decide that if Thick Boys can keep up their win streak here.
Yeah, if Thick Boys can win both games here on stream, they'll end the night with 5-0. So it's gonna be pretty big. It is so volatile right now. But we do have Gar Crush 3, who we're gonna see in the first game, showing up in fourth place right now with their 2-1 run.
Yeah, so if they can win this, they can tie up the losses there, and bring Thick Boys down with Gar Crush and Needlessly.
Yes. All right. And we do want to, I guess, start talking about how this game's going to turn out. I mean, we've got Gar Crush 3 and Thick Boys.
I mean, when we saw Gar Crush 3 last week, I think that they looked pretty strong. Like I think they'll be very dominant, but I have yet to see Thick Boys, so I don't know exactly how dominant they're going to be up against this team.
Their record looks pretty good, and each player has a great record in their solo queue games. As to explain, most of them are plat with 1 or 2 diamonds, I believe, in their standings as well. Whereas Gar Crush 3 is mostly gold, but they're still pretty powerful. They come out pretty strong.
They do have a couple, like a diamond and a platinum player in there, and they've all been grinding their flex queues. I've been seeing.
Absolutely. So Gar Crush 3 here. I think their biggest thing here, so Solitude is their AD carry, and I think they need to get him fed. Just ungodly fed.
Last week he really popped off with his Ashe gameplay.
Absolutely. And so get him fed and then just play it safe. Make sure you can scale into that late game and look for the win that way. I think if they try to play too ambitious, it might bite them in the butt. I don't know if they've got the experience, the mechanical skill to come around and actually just, finesse the win. They might just have to play it safe, especially against a 3-0 Thick Boys.
I'm pretty sure that Thick Boys mid laner is their highest ranked player. I'm not 100% sure on that, but if for them to win this, all they have to do is just focus on him. If he can become huge, then he can take over the game.
Yeah, for sure. And so it looks like we will be jumping into, let me check, into Champ Select right now. Okay, here, Gar Crush 3 Thick Boys.
Sweet. So how do you think Pigban's going to look for? We're on 10.5 this round.
Yes. I guess to jump on that, you were explaining that their mid laner for Thick Boys is one of their heavy hitters, but also their jungler was a diamond player. And I think they're going to want to make sure that Mr. One Bear, who's the jungler for Thick Boys, is not able to just have an easy pick. They'll want to shut that down. And so we do have first a ban of Mordekaiser on Gar Crush 3, and we're waiting on a ban from Thick Boys now.
I've been seeing a lot of Mordekaiser in the mid lane, so it makes sense that they would ban him out.
Okay, yeah, it looks like they did lose their first ban. So.
They lost their first ban from the game being delayed.
Yeah, if you got everyone, PSA, if you are late to your games here, we will punish you. So don't be late to your games, and you get all the bans you want. But along with that, we do have Set and Aphelios and Thresh also banned.
Yeah.
So what do you think of those bans? What do you
I
think of them?
I mean, Set being a really strong pick in the top lane. I've actually been running him top and jungle pretty recently, and he's very dominant in lane. And there's not much you can really do to stop him or kill this guy.
Yeah, so we do have a pick. Garcrush 3 taking Ornn. It's a safe, solid pick, super strong. I think he's the next champion I'm going to buy, and once I'm back on my client with all the blue essence I can get.
Yeah.
But Ornn is going to be pivotal in that top lane to make sure that, because he's just going to be safe. He's just a safe character, and then he just makes your items way better. So
It's
great
true.
pick, great first pick.
You get a lot of gold value out of stuff like the Abyssal Mask and the Sunfire Cape.
For sure.
Upgrades there. And looks like we got Leona coming over on the side of Thick Boys with Jax. I believe that's going to be a Jax jungle. But it could be in the top lane against the Ornn as well.
Right now, yeah, that is a solid flex pick here for Thick Boys, but the Leona support will always be a good choice. Her engages are insane with the Zenith Blade, and then the Solar Flare to get those stuns out and a little bit of damage when she can will be absolutely pivotal for those team fights.
It's true, and we could be seeing like something like a Senna paired up with the Leona in the bot lane. Oh, and we got the Morgana. It looks like to match that Leona stun with her spell shield.
Get the Black Shield out there. And then finally Rek'Sai, who I think is a great pick here for Garcrush because that does shut down one of the options for Thick Boys. Oh.
Oh, it looks like the switch.
Okay, to explain what just happened, the teams are backwards. Thick Boys is actually Ornn, Morgana, and Rek'Sai. And then Garcrush 3 is Leona, Jax, and Zac. So, little confusing. And I was honestly intrigued by the idea that Garcrush 3 was counter-picking the champions that Thick Boy plays. I was just like, wow, they did their homework, big brain.
Yeah,
but no, we have Thick Boys with Mr. One Bear's Rek'Sai. So I was gonna say how they they picked the Rek'Sai away from Thick Boys. No, Mr. One Bear has his Rek'Sai, which is going to be absolutely insane because of the gank angles and the presence in lanes from Rek'Sai.
And a lot of counter jungling. Rek'Sai can really take over, especially going against the Zac, whose clear is a little slower in the early game. At least until he gets his first item, then he does it okay. But Rek'Sai can definitely take over a game if you let him.
Yes, and now all the bans are through. Ziggs and not Morgana. Ziggs and Misfortune, as well as Yasuo and Sivir, which are great bans because these are like the pocket picks, the one-trick champions that the players pick up. So
and Yasuo can really take over games. I mean, everyone knows the Yasuos in their solo queue games.
For sure, yeah. They just need to shut down their mid laner, Lord Arkin here. Shut him down by.
It's like Garcrush 3 with the Ashe pick again. I think that was really good. They did look strong on it last week.
Yeah, with the slows of her volleys as well as any snag that Leona can get. Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be a good bot lane, safe bot lane for them, as well as pretty intense. But we do have a Corki and a Lucian showing up for the last two champions on Thick Boys.
Yeah, so it looks like it'll probably be Corki mid. But you could also see, Corki going bot lane and Lucian going mid. But I doubt it here. I think that's definitely a Corki mid.
Yeah, I don't think they would sacrifice a Lucian into the mid lane up against an Orianna who's just going to play from range the entire time. So
it looks like they got a really safe comp over on the side of Garcrush 3.
Yes, and like I was saying, they gotta play it safe and they gotta scale, and that's what they picked. They've got a Jax who will just be absolutely nutty in the end game, with the Ashe, Zac, and Leona setups. I guess all of them. Orianna with her ults also,
and the Ashe era.
Yeah.
So they've got ways to engage with every champion on their team.
All right.
And we're gonna reset the lobby and get back into it. But
Yeah, so we'll have those picks showing up in just 1 second, and then we'll try and jump into game. So, what do you think? What did you like about
I
these
like
picks
the
and
Ash
bans?
pick, and I like that Garcrush 3 was definitely leaning into those safer, more team fight oriented comps, and I would have liked to see him like go into a set versus the Jax,
Mm.
but where it was banned,
Yep.
I think Jax was the better play,
Yeah,
especially going into the Ornn.
I definitely agree. Yeah, that set was early banned out from Thick Boys, and so you just didn't want to deal with that. That
Yeah.
haymaker, I will tell you what.
And
I played against a set in the mid lane. It was atrocious. I literally couldn't do anything, and I was a control mage, and I just had to sit
yeah,
back.
and even when Set is behind, he's still just unkillable.
Yeah.
He's so strong, and stuff like Sunfire Cape and Sterex Gauge keeping him so tanky and still dealing so much damage. And there's not much you can really do against it without like kiting him out, you know?
Correct. Yeah, that's absolutely right. But we do. So we have that Ornn, we have that Jax in the top lane. I find that it's going to be a lot of this back and forth of disengaging as Jax wants to jump in and get a little bit of a trade going. But Ornn,
Yeah, I
no,
don't
I'm
think
not.
he'll
I'm not
really.
going.
I don't think he'll really be able to trade too much, especially into Ornn. Like Ornn's just so big, really beefy champion, and Jax is more favored into scaling into the later portion of the game, and so he really won't be able to do much in his lane until he's got a few items under his belt.
Yeah. Yes. Thick Boys, I think, drafted well with that Ornn staying on the Ornn there because he can just be on his own little island and live there forever. And then
It's true.
we could have Mr. One Bear showing up in the mid and bot lanes, making sure that there's a lot of uncomfortable pressure going on, forcing dragons, making sure that they can get those neutral objectives instead of.
And especially as Rek'Sai, he can really take over the game. I mean, they're very safe picks on the side of Garcrush, but if any of them overextend or get caught out, I think the late game could be taken over by Thick Boys, but right now it looks like Garcrush definitely have a good advantage here with the safer picks.
They do. And I do want to go back to that scaling in the late game. As long as Garcrush don't play like heroes, like they're not being the hero of the game, I think they'll do well in playing their game and making sure that they outscale, and hopefully they can shut down this Ornn, who will start just giving insane stats to Infinity Edge or turning it into Molten Edge or Luden's Echo.
That extra gold value definitely can make their late game scaling pretty equivalent to the Ashe and Leona bot as well.
For sure. We do have the client just about reset, and so we'll be going to a short break so that we can get the rest of it taken care of, and then we'll get the official picks and bans, and then we'll be back into game.
Legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, relentless, you survive. Smile.
Welcome back. We've had client issues, patching problems with one of the computers here, and so that's why it's taken a second for us to get into game.
And we'll be getting into that and very soon.
One day we will
One
have
day.
we'll have a stream of just
Complete
smooth
fluidity.
sailing.
Yeah.
So that will be
Complete fluidity.
nice. But we are in. We are ready to rumble. We have the picks and bans coming through. We already discussed, what everyone was picking, so they're just going to quickly do that one more time, jump into the game. We do have about a 3-minute timer.
Yeah, about 3-minute time or
Delay.
spectator delay.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. And so,
Oh. All right. Everyone, please lock in. Please, let's get going, guys. Come on.
and so, but I think what do you think about these two mid laners?
The two mid laners, Corky and Oriana.
Yeah. Who do you think wins that matchup?
I am under the full impression that Oriana can't. It takes a lot for her to lose lane. She could go 0-3 and still be okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not ideal to be 0-3 for anyone. But Oriana, because of her late game presence and her ultimate just setting up fantastic wombo combo, it's pretty strong. And so I think Corky, Mono here needs to make sure that he's applying so much pressure
Yeah.
on Lord Arkan here to make sure that she can't roam. She has to stay in lane. She has to force missing CS by pushing tower.
Yeah. See, I know that Corky can be really powerful later on into the game. I know that he's kind of slower to start. So I think it'll look Oriana favored at the beginning because I guarantee she'll have a lot of ways to poke and kind of keep Corky's pressure off. But I think Corky's roam and engage in teamfights is going to be much stronger unless Oriana can land a solid 5-man ult on
which is
onto
it's a
Big
beautiful
Boys.
sight when you can do that. I'll tell you what, it's one of my favorite moments.
Yeah.
But I agree. Corky, he's not a champion until he's got 3 items.
Yeah.
So it's like
It's true.
you need to get your IE, you need to get rapid fire cannon, maybe a Trinity Force, get enough attack speed going.
And scale up.
Yeah, and so maybe that's the thing, is that it's in Lord Arkan's favor to just pressure Mono into missing his CS,
And keeping himself safe.
missing his gold, pushing him out of lane, forcing him to back.
Mm-hmm.
So good stuff.
And then we do got Lucian Ashe matchup, especially with the Morgana Leona. Morgana being a pretty good counter to the Leona.
Yes, I think Morgana's Black Shield is a solid counter for the intense engages that occur from Leonas and Blitzcranks and such. I don't find Morgana to be that strong of a champion per se. I think she's good, but not strong. However, in the hands of Samuel Gray, who is just an absolute monster in the bot lane, he's diamond.
Yeah.
And so he's going to show Morgana's worth. I'm fairly certain of it. And so we'll have to see. We don't really know where. I don't think we know where things are going to lie. I'm honestly afraid of that Solitude and Lewakits get a little too ambitious, maybe step up too far.
I could see that, especially with Lucian being lower ranged.
Yes. Yeah. Quads is as long as Samuel Gray can feed him all the kills and set him all up, I think Quads will be such a strong player in this game.
Yeah, if he can just get dominance for a little bit of the lane, he can pretty much take it over.
Mm-hmm. And especially with the Rek'Sai ganks, those just nutty angles you show up in lane on.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Mr. One Bear can definitely change the course of this game.
For sure. And so spectator delay is done. We're ready to go. We'll be jumping into the Summoner's Rift. any second now.
I.
How you feeling?
Who do you think's gonna win this round?
Ooh. I feel like we talked a little bit about this. I am putting my chips here on Thick Boys, and that's because I think they have the better skill to just force Garcrush to make mistakes. All they have to do is force the team to be uncomfortable. Like I said, the Orn can stay off in his own island, and then Mr. One Bear can just show up in the mid and bot lanes, really make those laners uncomfortable, and then you've got neutral objectives. You got dragons.
Yeah,
So.
see, I'm actually putting my money on Garcrush.
Ooh, okay.
I think that they picked well. They're definitely a safer pick, or they're definitely a safer comp, and I think they can outscale and keep the pressure off of them until they're big enough to take over the game.
Okay. Well, everyone at home, who do you think is going to win this one? We're split, so that's pretty cool. I appreciate the opposing views, and I love it. So one of us will be wrong, and one of us will be right.
I think it'll be me, personally.
Maybe. As long as they can be safe and scale, maybe.
I think they'll do very well, especially stuff like Ashe, Leona, keeping their lane pretty safe.
Mm-hmm.
That they don't have to do anything fancy. As long as nobody plays the hero, as you were saying.
Yeah.
I think that as long as they don't play the hero and get caught out in the earlier stages of the game, they can take it over.
Mm-hmm. I will say this about Garcrush 3. I think they've picked an easy synergy. I think they picked a team that will just easily jump into the late game safely. It's not too ambitious. It's not too strong. Too strong in that early game that's like, oh, let's end the game in 20 minutes, 22 minutes flat, please.
They're not picking like a Talon mid or something like that.
Yep. And so we are on Summoner's Rift. Welcome, everybody. We do have Thick Boys on the blue side with Garcrush 3 on the red side here.
And it looks like they're not going for any fancy invades or anything.
Nah. They're just standing off in the river, breakdancing in the middle of the lane. Mr. One Bear showing off his moves.
Now, I believe Rek'Sai starts red and Zakta start blue, so they'll both be topside on at the end of their starting clears.
Yes, with the new jungle metas and lack of experience, in my opinion, you get less experience. You are forced to have to go from buff to buff with maybe grabbing the Gromp in between.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas last season you could have stayed on your red side. You could have gotten your red buff, go down to Krugs, get your Raptors, get a Scuttle, and then show up in a lane. On the same side.
Especially on with the jungle now, you can't go something like blue Raptors red or blue Wolves red because those won't hit you level 3. As where if you go from buff to buff and then take the Gromp in between, you'll hit level 3 off just those 3 camps.
Yes. Let's everyone give a big thank you to Big Froggy Boy out in the jungle giving us the XP. But we do have some stuff showing up in the top lane here. A little back and forth slapping of staves and hammers.
Yes, and it looks like Garcrush is going for a full clear in their jungle. As where this Rek'Sai is just clearing those 3 camps, and I think he's going to gank this Jax in the top lane.
We should see, but we have an engage happening here on the bot side.
Like very aggressive down here in the bot lane.
Now, I do like the continual pressure with Jimmy Boobjob here. He is making sure that RTB wants to step up, wants to keep fighting. And so we have Mr. One Bear here right in the river.
Oh.
Oh,
Looks like the invade over here from Mr. One Bear. And it does look like Twitch chat does think that Thick Boys is going to take this one. I think Garcrush got it. I like an underdog.
Hey, we sometimes we got to have a Rocky out there, Maybe this time. I mean, we did see it earlier. This is totally off the topic of this game, but TSM did beat Cloud9 today. So is it
That's
the
fair.
day?
That's pretty crazy. I actually didn't see that yet.
Ooh.
Oh, the engage coming in on, and I believe that's the kill. going over first blood over to Jimmy Boobjob.
I do enjoy the pressure that Mr. One Bear had the entire time. He walked into the red side jungle here, forcing. I cannot say that name for the life of me. Forest
Let's go
Token. Forest Token. I think that's how you say that. Forcing him away from that top lane, and so then at the right moment, Mr. One Bear is able to just tunnel right across into the lane, force the flash out of Jax there, and so good stuff.
And that's really good for Ornn to be getting that first blood.
Yes, the 300 gold plus the kill tokens anyway, or the kill money anyway, and so he's already got he's got his Bomby Cinders now, which will be so helpful in pushing his lane for always being able to chunk down those minions and get the gold. So
and really good for keeping aggression. It does look like we do got One Bear.
Oh.
The engage comes over.
But we have.
It looks like Orianna is also looking to come contest. I don't think that they're gonna want to fight this in the bot lane with Orianna missing.
Not quite, but we do have first Drake is a Mountain Drake, so you get a little bit of armor stats.
Yeah.
It's not going to give you a soul, but you get a little bit of armor stats, which might be helpful for a Zac or for an Ornn, depending on who gets it.
See, and I think where Thick Boys could have a hard time is if this is an Ocean Soul, and if they give that over to Garcrush, they won't really.
The Orianna will have so much mana.
Killing anyone.
The Orianna with endless mana. That is
and a lot
dream of mine. That is always a dream of mine, is to have an Orianna. Ooh.
Oh, the solo engage here up on Jimmy Boobjob is gonna force RTB to just back off. He's way too low.
Luckily, RTB did have his jump, so he's able to stay away. But we have Mr.
One
One Bear.
Dive. The ult coming out. Oh, and one shot. He didn't even have a chance.
The Call of the Forge God just took him down. It wasn't even an engage tool. That was the kill tool. That was good stuff. So 2 kills coming in for Jimmy here.
Yeah, he didn't have a chance to even react. He was just he's just gone.
Good night. Good night, sweet prince. And 2 turret plates dropped here on that top lane, and so Jimmy is looking strong. He, like I said, he can sit in his own island, but now that he's 2 up on RTB here, he can do whatever he wants, and then he'll be able to show up in the other lanes instead of just trying to isolate the Jax from everyone else. He can actually be even more of a tool for the rest of Thick Boys.
Yeah, and especially where 8 minutes is coming up here, it looks like Rift Herald.
Twitch, come on, calling for a recount
on Twitch chat. That's what I'm saying. I think Garcrush has got it.
That's pretty
They definitely got to play it a little safer in this top lane. But yeah, with this Rift Herald coming up here soon, if they can get that and use it topside, that's 2 free plates.
Absolutely.
Oh, it looks like the fight coming down here on bot side. Samuel Gray does have to flash out.
Mr. One Bear just
Mr. One Bear
going
coming
across.
into the engage on the Leona.
Wow.
She does fall. Samuel Gray
does get the kill, so that's helpful, but and
it looks like they blow the passive on this forest. But what was that?
That should be it. Yep.
Forest token.
Mono getting that kill here on Forest Token is pretty big because he is about even on CS here up against Lord Arkin, but now he's got that kill. He's got a little extra gold in his pocket. He's able to go back and buy. Right now he does have his Sheen, so that's a pretty good start with what he's going.
Oh, the
wow!
stun comes down, and the culling not quite able to take out the.
But with such a healthy bot lane here,
Leona here.
Quads and Samuel Gray are able to just push the envelope and get those turret plates.
RTB struggling up here in the top lane.
He He sure is, and unfortunately, there's not much he can do about it right now because this Ornn is just so big. He's so healthy.
Yeah.
He's got his Bomby Cinders. He's got now some cloth armor and his Ninja Tabbies, so
And
he's
over
virtually
25 CS
unkillable.
behind. Looks like the engage coming down on the quads.
Ooh.
He is able to dodge it, back off.
Flashing the mastery. Woo, the cancer. Okay, okay. Oh.
RTB just happened to hang out under the turret here. He is, it's a substantial gold lead under. Call of the Forge God coming out. It looks like he does manage to dodge it, but he won't be able to do much about that. Jimmy Boob Job with 3-0.
3-0, and he took 3 to 4 turret shots. I didn't quite get the full count of the 4 shots, and he's still at such a healthy lead right now. It's just there's nothing that RTB can do right now.
Yeah.
He's losing his tower under tower, and these angles from Mr. One Bear are just insane. And so good presence here. Mr. One Bear forcing that top lane to just be an absolute, turning Jimmy into an absolute monster. And they've got first tower.
Yep, that's first tower over to Thick Boys. And yeah, Mr. One Bear keeping the pressure up on this top lane and just kind of snowballing it so much that RTB 1400 can't do anything in this lane.
And now looking, we did have a good glimpse of the mid lane there with Mono and Lord Arkin. Right now, their CS is just about even. We have about 6 CS differential, which isn't too much. Oh wow! But they are able to just get that.
Oh, it looks like they got vision of the Rift Herald here.
Yeah, there's an engage going on.
I believe they're gonna take this fight.
Oh yeah, but Mono's there. Mono's there for an easy cleanup.
Yep,
pickup.
They're keeping him zoned off.
Yep.
That looks like they are gonna get this Rift Herald. I believe if they just take this straight to the mid lane, they can get the second turret.
They might not want to do that quite yet.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna look for an
wait for a full tower dive.
Yeah. Lord Arkin with the knock-up. The flash done.
Oh.
Wow, and she's got so much sustain on these shields. Shutdown. Lord Arkin gets the 600 gold shutdown on Jimmy Boob Job.
That's huge.
Before dying.
Lord Akron. I keep saying Arkin.
Oh,
Akron.
yeah.
Akron is his name. Lord Akron, though, died under tower, got a healthy shutdown gold from Ornn, who was 3-0 at the time, but now 3-1. But Lord Akron will be able to. Almost
like
lost her tower, but now it looks like he's good to go.
No, they're definitely gonna take
Oh yeah.
One Bear and Mono.
Yep. Frosttoken really couldn't do much.
Yeah,
he's just kind of there.
He's just kind of
Yeah.
tanky boy, you know.
Hopefully we can drop the tower, but no. And so that's 2 towers in favor of Thick Boys right now.
Yeah, and Thick Boys with this, with almost, they're getting closer and closer towards this 10K gold lead.
Yep.
Right now we're looking at what,
We're about
6,000?
6K. Yep, 6K differential in favor of Thick Boys. And so things are looking pretty good from the early laning into the mid game here, which is where I find that Thick Boys will definitely shine quite a bit, especially now that they've got both Ornn and the Corki able to roam a little bit more now that they don't have to take down tier 1 turrets.
And I mean, if they just need to hang out, play a little passive. I think Garcrush can catch up here. They just can't take any more risks from here on. I mean, they can't really afford it anymore.
Yeah, but they might have to take the risks anyway. As we see, the dragon is almost about to spawn, and there it is, the Ocean Drake showing up in his inner pit. And so everyone's starting to rotate down towards it. And I think this is kind of where Garcrush 3 needs to start stepping out of their comfort zone, trying to get those picks. I mean, you don't need this dragon right now. It looks like it's just gone. There's no way they're getting it.
There's nothing they can do to contest this. I mean, it's at 5.
But now they have to contest for every single dragon ever since. Good trade right there.
Because the next dragon will be Dragon Point, or will be Soul Point.
Yep.
On the side of Thick Boys here.
Yeah, if they're able to get that dragon, and it is going to be an infernal Drake, which will be heightening the damage ratios and the AoEs.
Yeah.
But wow,
Oh, the engage coming over onto the Leona, and she barely makes it out.
wow, one turret shot.
Solitude about to take down quads.
Ooh.
Jimmy Boop drop with Call of Forge God knocks up the Ashen. Oh, Solitude will fall. And quads will pick up the second kill down here in the bot lane.
Ooh,
and I believe this
almost.
is their third turret.
Jimmy Boob Job just coming in clutch right now with the
Keeping
Call of the
this
Forge God,
dominance.
knocking up Solitude.
Oh, Jimmy
Wow.
Boop drop does follow Lord Archon again. Or Akron.
Akron. You got it. You got it. So that's
Akron.
pretty good. That's pretty good. That's a 2-1 for Lord Akron right now.
Yeah, they're
But-
keeping up the pressure bottom lane while Mr. One Bear is pressuring this mid turret. They're gonna have to respond to him and just give up that bot lane.
Yep. Oh, forcing it. Forcing
Mr.
Mr. One Bear.
Mr. One Bear is getting forced on. I think they'll be able to take him out.
Oh, that should be it. That should be it.
Or
Yep.
Akron. There we go. Looks like he's having a 3-1
Wow.
lead here. Oh, Mono with the kill again.
A lot of scrappy fights going
Mono
on
and
right
Samuel
now.
Gray.
I think that Garcrush 3 at this point are a little too far extended. They lost their bottom tier turret, their first tier turret,
Yeah.
and they were stepped up a little too far. And I know you're trying to you got technically a safer farm, and so you're like, oh, I can step up a little bit, but just with the dive potential of Thick Boys, you can't be too ambitious. You can't be too far forward, or you're just gonna get caught out like that. And so, yeah, we both had
Especially
Solitude
while-
and Luwakits. I will get that name one day. Luwakits were a little too far forward, and they both lost their lives for it. So
Yeah, and especially with this orange Call of the Forge God, there's not really much you can do to escape it if you are too close.
yeah.
And I believe we'll get a replay of this bot lane fight.
Okay, so yeah, this is going to be the tower dive from Jimmy. So,
This is where they call it.
oh no, not the tower dive. This is when they lose their tower. Okay.
So they lose the tower. The engage comes through from Mono.
Yeah. So Mono really setting up with his, with his bombardment. He was able to kind of divide up Solitude and Luwakits right there, forcing them to take damage no matter where they go because of the burn on the ground. It's kind of like Rumble's equalizer. Oh, we do have an engage right now, though.
Oh, it doesn't look like much is coming through, but I think they're wanting to contest this Rift Herald.
They might.
Just clear
We've got 3
vision.
minutes till Barons, so they might just want to force this out. Force Garcrush 3 to really show up to stop it or try to steal it and just make the mistakes.
What they could be doing also is just holding them off.
Mm.
If they can hold them off long enough to the point where they can't get it, then Baron will spawn, and that's what they'll be fighting for instead of Shelly.
For sure, we do have an Ash Arrow flying through the air,
It looks
through
like it
the
misses.
uprights. No one gets tagged.
We just had the rogue arrow go through.
That's okay.
They are looking for some sort of an engage. Call of the Forge God comes through from Jimmy Boop Job, and
Ooh.
the Leona will fall.
But the
And Samuel Gray with
wow. Up in the
Mono with
Raptors.
the fight,
Mono
with the
taking
insta kill onto
Yeah. Mono taking
onto
down
RTB.
RTB. So
Yeah.
that was pretty crazy.
that was a quick kill. They're keeping up the aggression. I think they're going to try to take this mid turret and use Shelly. They did get the Rift Herald, so.
Yeah, luckily Mr. One Bear doesn't have to show up to team fights anymore, so he's like, you guys go have fun. I'm going to go get that Shelly. We're going to go take more turrets with it. And now it's just absolutely obliterating Garcrush 3's jungle camps, forcing Forest Stoken to not be able to get any CS and get this dragon. This is 3 dragons for
this
Thick
is
Boys
sole
now.
point for Thick Boys. and especially with the extra damage that Infernal Soul would give him, I don't think the Gar Crush can let them have it.
Yeah, it's going to be tough if they get the soul. The Infernal Drake Soul does an AoE blast every couple of auto attacks. So it's like a Tristana bomb, you know, just blowing up after each CS dies.
Yeah.
Except everyone has it. And so it's going to be a big problem if Gar Crush 3 cannot get a handle on any of this game, but it does look very much in favor of Thick Boys right now.
Yeah, Gar Crush hasn't really had any sort of objective control over any of these neutrals, and they haven't even taken down a single turret.
They have not. And that's one thing I think that is very important that the Thick Boys is, to a T, is playing, is that they're forcing Gar Crush 3 to be just uncomfortable, can't do much. They're kind of just turtling. And now we've got a Rift Herald.
Looks like an engage on RTB being overextended. Mono will just get that easy kill.
That was like a fadeaway shot coming in from Samuel Gray. Just throws his binding out. He's like, see ya. You can have the rest.
Like, I got you, Mono. I'll make sure that he'll stop moving.
We do have the Rift Herald showing up bot lane, almost taking down that turret, though. And it's going to be gone before the turret's dead itself.
Yep. But Jimmy Boobjob is just keeping the aggression down here, and they're going to have to go contest this Baron.
I don't know
or
if they can.
Quads, and
no one's
One
even
Bear
close.
can just burn it straight down. I don't think that there's much they can even do.
Yeah, I don't see.
They're not even going to make it in time.
They burn it down so quickly with Quads, just the amount of damage. But we do.
And Baron does.
Oh, we have that fight coming through.
Oh, the engage from Jimmy Boobjob takes out RTB and almost takes. Oh, it looks like Solitude does step in, make sure that just to keep his support backed up.
Yeah. Luckily, Lewakitz was able to get out of there alive. And I was saying before the game that if you just let Jimmy be on his own island, like the rest of the team can do their thing. But I was sorely mistaken. Jimmy is carrying this team on his back.
Yeah.
He's 1v2 right there, almost taking down 2. And there's nothing they can do about it.
And if you look, like, Mono is also really big. Like, he's 5-0-1. He's almost at 200 CS. He's almost full build.
Yeah, he's almost at 3 items, which is that
And
power spike of Corki.
That's where he's just going to take over the game. They're not going to be able to do much about this if they can't find some sort of lead to get back.
So now we're transitioning on over from our mid game, which was absolutely dominating. Thick Boys, I don't think they lost. I don't think any of them died during the quote-unquote mid game, because all of the 3 kills from Gar Crush were early game kills.
Yep.
And I don't know if there's anything that Gar Crush 3 can do.
I mean, it's an 11K gold lead over to Thick Boys. So 11,000 gold, that's really hard to come back from. And RTB just nearly one shot by Mono. And they do get the engage onto Mono. Mono does get spell shielded and falls.
That was a pretty good engage, getting a 3 onto
Call the Forge God going through and instantly takes down Lord Akron.
Akron, yes.
And the culling coming through. Leon Ash is just going to have to back up and
taking turret
I don't think
shots.
that they can really contest this. They lose their inhib with the... Wow! Quads and Morgana just take out the...
Samuel Gray with the shot from downtown, getting the kill there from on Solitude. And we're on the Nexus turrets right now.
I think they're just going to take down these turrets and end the game. I don't think RTB is going to be able to do much about this. He's gonna fall to Quads. Quads with the killing spree.
As of right now, yeah, both turrets are down.
this Baron push, I think they're just going to end the game. They're going to teleport in from...
They did just lose Baron, and I was going to mention that, as their Baron was about to run out, so an engage is happening.
Looks like they are going to fight here. They're trying to take down Mr. One Bear. And they're still not able to.
Wow.
Mono with a lot of damage, as well as quads. They just can't even, they can't even contest. They're just forced
playing
back
with
into
their
the
food.
fountain.
And that's that.
And
They were
that's
playing with
the
their
game.
food.
That's the win over to Thick Boys.
I was right.
Yeah, you
Sorry,
were.
Twitch. You were
very
wrong.
much were. Wow, that was a very dominant game. They didn't look like they were going to lose at any point.
And I think, and that's why I picked them. You know, that's why I picked them, because they were able to execute more ambitious games, and I liked the presence of Mr. One Bear in that top lane, getting Jimmy fed instead of just letting him do his island, you know, desert island, chilling with Jax. He was able to get that turret gone, just absolutely
and they
gone.
shut Jax down. Like,
Yeah.
He was not able to scale whatsoever.
Yeah, RTB couldn't do a single thing. And so with that turret down, with Jax down, you had an unkillable Ornn, which we know that happens if he can scale into the late game. But this was mid-game that was happening. He couldn't die. He was 1v2ing people in the bot lane. He was taking 5 turret shots, and the rest of Thick Boys was able to just show up and clean up and push these levels here.
And these damage charts, Ornn almost did as much damage as Corki, and both of which were the most damage on the whole team and in the lobby.
Yes, the Corki, I'm actually surprised he had so much damage. He kind of was just farming his lane and then was able to show up into those team fights later in the mid game. So
and
good
they
stuff.
spread the gold pretty well, and everyone was really big.
Everyone had gold.
Game.
Everyone had it all.
Yeah, and so it wasn't like one champion was carrying. They all were doing really well in their lanes and kept up that lead.
Absolutely. Great
so that was
team
really
surgery.
Good match.
Surgery. Why did I say surgery?
Synergy.
Good team synergy is the word I'm going for. And with that, we're going to go to break, show up into our next game in about, 5 or 10 minutes or so, and that we'll have Thick Boys once again up against Needlessly Large Rods. So stick around, stay tuned, and we will be right back.
Welcome to the world, no heroes and villains. Welcome to the war. You know who it is. Come and run again. You want a dose of this right now? It's KDA. I'm a goddess with a blaze. 소리 trouble 나 이름 믿지 못하게 loud 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 loud. I could take you to the top. 절대 멈추지 못해. 내가 끝내주는 bad gal gal gal. And when I started talk that oh you know how to react. I'm a picture perfect face with the wild in my veins. You can hear it in my glow 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 glow. So keep your eyes on me now. 무엇을 보든 좋아할 거야. 다 할 수 없는 배분. 나와 되길 원한 늘 확신해. We got it all in our hands now. So can you handle what we're all about? We're so tough. Let's get it, show you out. Can you feel the rush now? Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. They could try, but we gonna wear the crown. You could go another round, 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 round. Wish you luck, but you're not bringing us down. We go hard, till we get it, we go hard. We so in it, we pop stars. Only winning, winning now. Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. You ready for this? Let's go. See, 언제든지 내 모습 매직 단 한 번에 내가 잡아 절대 기죽지 않지. 펴펴 네가 뭘 알아? 견딜 수 없어 원해도 원하는 게 얼굴에 보여. I'm trouble and you running it. I'm so cold. When I move that way, you gon' be so blown. I'm the realest in the game. Said I'm on fire with the blade. You're about to hear my name ringing in your head like whoa. So keep your eyes on me now. 무엇을 보든 좋아할 거야. We're so tough. Let's get it, show you out. Can you feel the rush now? Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. They could try, but we gonna wear the crown. You could go another round, 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 round. Wish you luck, but you're not bringing us down. We go hard, till we get it, we go hard. We so in it, we pop stars. Only winning, winning now. Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. 난 멈추지 않아. We go hard. We pop stars. Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. They could try, but we gonna wear the crown. You could go another round, 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 round. Wish you luck, but you're not bringing us down. We go hard, till we get it, we go hard. We so in it, we pop stars. Only winning, winning now. Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tanner Shea YT Swenson, back here with the man, the myth, the legend, Alex Honest Dragon Leon.
And that was an awesome last game. Wouldn't you agree?
It was fantastic.
It was awesome. Thick Boys really took it over.
Oh, they did for sure. Honestly, that Orn pick was, Jax just couldn't scale, which was one of the win conditions, and Orn just basically took over the game. His Call of the Forge Gods were absolutely perfect, something that we've kind of looked for in the past from a couple of other Orn players. So I definitely think he excelled on that pick.
And it looks like we're going to go right into Champ Select. We got Needlessly Large Rods facing Thick Boys now.
Okay.
And Needlessly Large Rods, we got Fiora in the top lane, Larry Livingston in the jungle, Death mid lane, Calivire bot, and Big Ben support.
Awesome. Yep. And then Thick Boys, we've seen them before, but just to recap, we have Mono, Quads, we have Gray, Mr. One Bear, and Sneaky Houdini.
Yep. And I think this is gonna be a fun one. I think Thick Boys with that last performance are gonna be very strong.
I know. Yeah, I'm honestly excited. I want to see if we can get something different.
It looks like the Master Yi ban
Interesting. Okay. Thick boys studying up on Larry. I mean, that's one of their win conditions is their jungler. He does very well. And Yi is probably one of the hardest champions to stop once he gets going. So,
It's true.
honestly, a fair ban.
I mean, I'm a Yi one trick. You know, if I get Yi, the game's over. We win. Master Freelo.
And then the LeBlanc ban coming out, and then the Zoe ban oriented towards death. Orn pick. Nice. Okay, I like it. I like it. So now we're forcing Thick Boys to come out with something different.
Set. Perfect. That's what I was
Ooh.
saying. I think Set goes really well into Orn. And that was banned out last time. Thick Boys made sure to ban out the Set when they picked Orn. And so now being on the opposite side, they picked Set into Orn.
Two definite power picks for the first picks. And then the Rek'Sai
Rek'Sai comes through again.
comes out again. He did do great. He focused the top lane. They got several kills up there, repeat ganks. He did great. I want to see him do it again.
And so, yeah, and the Zac pick.
Okay.
You know, Zac really
Similar
good
matchup,
jungler
yeah.
right now, especially with the changes to Cinder Hulk.
Yep.
And Morgana, Spell Shields. It looks like this is going to be a similar draft to last game.
This is.
Needlessly seeing if they can take that same comp and win it.
Yeah. The thing
Kind
is,
of adjustments a little.
they do have a little bit more front line with the Ornn and the Zac instead of on the Jax. But that means we're going to have to expect a pretty hard carry either coming out of Death or coming out in the bot lane.
That's true. And especially, well, them taking the Morgana, you know, they then picked the Taric into it. And that's good because they didn't get to go for the Leona this time.
Yeah, I mean, they have less engage, but they have the Zac. Zac's enough. Ornn can follow up with Call of the Forge God. So they've got plenty of engage. Morgana for the follow-up.
Yep.
But as for Thick Boys, I'm not
Really?
seeing too much engage besides the Rek'Sai.
Yeah, maybe the set ultimate Taric can just keep them alive, but yeah, there's not
Yes.
too much other than Rek'Sai.
They have
Well,
a very
see what they
reactive
pick.
team. A very reactive team, in my opinion. They can basically disengage very well, and then hopefully just get them on the way out.
And we also got to kind of see what they pick for the mid lane. The mid lane could be their engage.
Wow, needlessly focusing the bot lane.
Yep.
Kai'Sa and Lucian bands coming out. Two pretty strong picks, honestly.
Actually, it looks like bot lane on both sides. I mean, Yasuo, flex pick, and Caitlyn.
And there's the Xayah, probably one of the
Oh.
strongest remaining ADCs left. Now, she
Yeah.
is very late game, so she's going to work great with Taric, who is also, he works really well in the late game and kind of carrying her through the early stages where she's at her weakest.
Yeah. What? I mean, you've been playing a lot of Xayah.
I have been playing a lot of Xayah. And honestly, the beginning of the game is extremely excruciating. You don't do a lot of damage. Your snare is really hard to hit unless you can follow up on someone's CC.
Yeah.
So the Taric stun you could potentially follow up on, even though that is kind of situational. It's more of a disengage tool unless Taric can flash stun them, and then Xayah can follow up on that. But we have the
Let's see.
Varus.
Yeah. Would you say what about early Xayah Varus?
Varus?
I think Morgana with Varus has the early advantage.
Yes,
by
for sure.
good amount.
Varus is actually one of the best lane champions. He does very well at poking him down, and then in later games, he's got his utility where he can basically snare up the whole team if he hits a good one.
It's true.
So,
and Vel'Koz. Vel'Koz going over to the mid lane on Needless Large Rods.
I'm really liking their team right now. Needlessly, they have engage. They've got follow up. They've got the damage. Death on the Vel'Koz. Ooh, and then the Ahri coming
pick.
out.
Ahri really good into
It is
Vel'Koz
because of the lack of
Vel'Koz-
mobility.
Yeah, Vel'Koz can't get away.
Yep.
And
So,
so that
good counter pick.
I think that was good. That was really
Good counter pick. And I'm glad that they did save that counter pick for last because Death is really who I have my eyes on. I really enjoy watching him play. I believe I've casted 2 of his games. In both of his games, he played excellent. One game on the Syndra where he definitely played one of the best games I've seen in the Winter Series. So really expecting a lot out of him here on the Vel'Koz, hoping he can get some early kills, get those items, and then potentially take over the game.
Yeah, and I think they have lots of good safe engage tools, and they can just make it happen. We're gonna go into the client here, and
All right,
just
so
go through the same pick and ban.
let's break down these lanes while we're here. Fiora versus Set.
I believe Set can win that,
Yeah.
but I think that he just has to be in a position where he can avoid the jungle pressure.
But we saw Jimmy perform excellent with
Mhm.
Yorn last game.
Yeah.
He did get a lot of support coming from Mr. One Bear, and he was, I believe, blue side last game.
Correct.
And ganks coming from around the tri-bush on Rek'Sai are deadly because she'll come
Yeah.
up right behind you, and even if you flash, you'll still get hit by the knockup.
Yep.
So it's going to be a little bit more difficult for her to pull off a gank for Jimmy. So he may be on his own for this round unless Fiora decides to push in, which Ornn does. He has a lot of AoE damage. But honestly, I think it's going to be a great matchup top lane. I think we're going to see a lot of action up there.
Yeah.
Maybe not a lot of kills because they are both extremely tanky and really hard to kill. But
yeah.
there's going to be on a non-stop action.
Who's your favorite? Who do you think's gonna win?
In the top lane?
No,
Ooh.
team-wise.
Oh, team-wise. Well, looking at it lane by lane, I think Jimmy is going to win the top lane. I think if Larry can pull off some creative ganks, he can definitely help Death in the mid lane and hopefully Calavir in the bot lane. I think if he can do that, if he can get both Death and Calavir fed, then I think Needlessly will take it. But if they don't get early kills, I think the Thick Boys are going to take it.
That is very fair. I mean, we saw the early aggression from Thick Boys. They don't let things go very easily.
Yeah.
they were very dominant, but I mean, Needlessly's only lost one game, so they're both close in the standings, and this could be a pretty competitive match.
Yes. Okay, so
So
the Thick Boys definitely has a scaling.
yeah,
Looking at it.
I think Thick Boys can definitely pull this one through.
All right, so
the hovers, the troll hovers.
so looking at the bot lane, I
Sciateric.
really need to see Calavir get a kill in lane. And I'm hoping that Larry can provide that for him. Zach's ganks are ridiculously frustrating because they come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You could have wards almost everywhere,
It's true.
and you still won't see him coming.
It is very true. And especially looking at, I mean, Cavalier and Big Ben, they picked into this Sciateric, like, I'm assuming expecting to get the early aggression in their favor.
It was a good call. It was a good call because Zaya is extremely weak early.
Yeah.
I think that level 6 is going to be a big changing point. If Calavir can hit that level 6 before quads, they could get a kill.
Yeah, they could
Easy.
easily control this.
Easy. Because Zaya will have no escape, no dodge, besides her flash. And then the Taric can only shield her.
Yeah. Yep. He
And
won't
then
be able to make her invulnerable.
Morgana and Calavir can just rain hell on them with CC.
Yeah.
Perma-stun them for days.
It's so much CC. It's crazy. But yeah, I think Thick Boys can take this one out. But
Is that who you're placing your bets on this round?
I think so. After that last game, it's kind of hard not
They
to.
changed your heart? They
You
changed
know-
your heart because you voted against them last time, didn't you?
Yes, I thought
Okay.
Garcrush 3.
Okay.
And after seeing the last games with Garcrush and Needlessly, like, they looked very competitive, and I think Garcrush had learned from that and could have brought that into this game. But Thick Boys just whole nother level. They were definitely a step up. I think that Needlessly is closer to the level of Guard Crush 3, maybe a little higher.
Yeah.
And so, Thick Boys, I think they're just gonna do the same thing to Needlessly.
Yeah, if I had to put my money on one of the teams, I think I would also put it on Thick Boys.
Yeah.
I think they're very good at playing passive. I did see a couple missteps last game in the bot lane.
Yeah.
If they can clean those up, then they're going to take the game.
That's true.
They're going to be able to scale and basically just run it down late game.
Yeah, and if you look at the last game, Thick Boys top laner and jungler were the only ones that died. Both mid and bot lane went deathless last game.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I think they just keep that passive laning until they take over.
Props to Mr. One Bear last game, though. He had extraordinary objective control. I don't think he gave up a single neutral objective that entire game. And partly of that is because Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai is very strong.
Aggressive jungler.
Yeah, very strong early. So it's smart for someone playing Zac to not contest those. But I would like to see a little more response from both the bot lane and the mid lane. Mid lane's kind of going to be a toss-up. I believe Vel'Koz does have faster clear until Ahri kind of gets a couple extra points in her queue.
Yeah.
But bot lane for sure is going to have that early game advantage, and they're going to have lane priority. So I want to see them take over the lane, get vision in the Dragon Pit, and give Larry some tools to take these objectives away from Mr. One Bear.
Yeah, I think they can if they can just keep control of the game, they can pull it out. But if they lose control like Garcrush did,
yeah,
Thick Boys will keep it.
Oh, a runaway train, yeah, for sure.
They didn't let any gaps through. You know, maybe a couple, they died 3 times. I think it was 3 to 15 plus kills.
Yeah.
So they let maybe a couple slide, but they're not going to let it go easy.
Not at all. That Ornn, though, actually is going to make things interesting late game, I realize. Because even though Uzziah does outscale the Varus, the ability to have these upgraded items is definitely going to make them a little, be able to stand a little more toe-to-toe.
Yeah, keep it comparable.
Exactly. I would expect him to upgrade either Death or Calavir's items first, depending on which one is more ahead. But I'm excited for this one. This is going to be a great one.
I think it's going to be a pretty close match, and I definitely think Thick Boys are going to have a lot of early aggression, just like they did last game, and I'm expecting them to put it towards the top lane, but we're going to get right into Summoner's Rift.
Awesome. Oh, and something that I forgot to mention a little bit earlier is Mono last game on the Corki. It looks looking for a holy
fight.
cow! Yeah, let's hold off on this. This is
it
looking
looks like
scary.
A fight coming through.
Oh man, it's a bloodbath.
Oh,
can they return it? They return it.
Oh, I think Quad's gonna get this one.
Ooh.
Oh, Mono gets a double kill over to TB.
That's dreadful. Yep. That's absolutely
Thick Boys looking thicker than ever.
Holy cow.
Level 1.
Not only do they outscale and suffer in the early game, but now Xayah has 1 kill. Mono has 2.
Yep, she's starting out the lane with an extra longsword.
Oh my goodness! Well, Calavir also got a kill.
Correct.
He did get the kill.
He killed Mr. One Bear.
Awesome. So he's coming back with a dagger, which is smart for Varus, because faster blight stacks means faster popping them, which is where his damage comes from. So it's still a pretty fair fight down in the bot lane, but in the mid lane,
Yeah.
like I was saying earlier, Yeah, Mono last game, he had an excellent game on Corki. He did what Corki's meant to do, split push, and then respond to fights with either his teleport or with his passive, and he did that very, very well. I remember one time where they were doing the Baron dance, and Mono was just sitting bot lane, taking turrets.
The towers.
Yep, and the second the fight started out, he was teleporting it.
Yep.
He had an excellent game. So
Yeah, it was very. They definitely shut off all their skills in every lane. Every lane was very strong last game. But now, can Mono take that and to an assassin that's going to be aggressive towards the Velkoff?
yeah, we'll see. She's
Oh,
That
Jimmy, you getting a
Ornn.
little early poke with Fiora.
ooh, Seb
Wow,
returning the damage
Fiora.
though. Look at that. And you know the problem about ooh,
Oh, Mr. One Bear going in and wow, easy kill onto the Ornn.
yep,
Fiora will go down.
he definitely did some creative pathing there.
Larry
and-
going
oh,
in for
wow.
the fight on Mr. One Bear, but I don't think he can. I don't think he can win that, especially with the Hail of Blades.
Yeah, and his passive is also down from the fights
He's going
earlier.
in
Oh,
and
in the
he's gonna
tunnel.
go try to finish him, and Larry does fall. Mr. One Bear now 2-1 and 3.
Yeah, I think
Very strong early.
I think the second that Larry saw I think the second that Larry saw Mr. One Bear in the jungle right there, I think he should have been attempting to get away. So basically, let Mr. One Bear knock you up, and then automatically start your slingshot, get over the wall.
Yeah, just
Um,
kind of get out.
but unfortunately, he wanted to fight. He wanted to try to flex.
Looks like they're gonna do a little bit of poking up here.
And Twitch is saying that Thick Boys is going to win. Thick Boys, you're turning the hearts of everybody from last game. Everybody wants you to win now.
Oh, Big Ben with the stun. Looks like the quad's not going to get the stun off on
Ooh.
these guys, but
Nice
that extra damage coming from the Xayah is just keeping the lane pretty stable.
Yeah, and it was actually good pathing from Big Ben there. He walked slightly at an angle, so he was never in the way of 3 feathers. Didn't get the root. Good pathing. Good pathing.
Oh, Mr. One Bear going in for another kill onto Death, but he does get away. He got charmed, but
Ooh.
he was able to flash out.
Death, barely escaping death.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought with that charm they were going to take him down, but they couldn't quite finish him.
But, I mean, the next time they go mid, Velkoz's flash will be down.
Yes.
And so he won't be able to do that again.
When you take a
And he
look at the...
wasn't like necessarily overextended. He was right by his turret.
Yep.
And so it's gonna be a tough lane for him. Jimmy Boobjob is keeping the aggression also.
So look at the CS mid. Not only is she up 2 kills, but she is already starting a pretty substantial CS lead.
Yeah, that's almost 2 full waves.
Yeah, which is going to get dangerous because more likely than not she is going to be hitting 6 first, which the second that she hits 6, she's almost guaranteed a kill
Yeah.
on Death. So honestly, it's not looking too fantastic there. Let's see if Larry can turn the tide for Death. Ooh, look at that bot lane though.
Yep, I think they're gonna go in for the gank.
Mr. One Bear.
And
He's
he goes
got
in on Big Ben.
Calavir in his
Oh,
sights,
Big Ben
but-
does stun and prevents the gank.
Good job, Big Ben.
Yep, really good.
Good job.
Like
Reaction
holding
time.
that. Yeah.
Mr. One Bear is being incredibly active, as you should on Rek'Sai, but he's being also really successful in a lot of these ganks.
I think he's just trying to push the lead of those early 2 kills, which is what you should be doing as a jungler.
Correct.
Yeah.
Wow, looking at the board all around, CS is definitely in the favor of Thick Boys.
Yeah, they're off to 2,000 gold lead already.
Yes.
Not looking like it's gonna be it's not gonna be easy for Needlessly.
It's definitely not. I don't think it was ever going to be easy for Needlessly.
Yeah, this is gonna be a tough one for him.
I did have hope for them, and I do respect the early cheese.
Yeah.
I do respect that because they know they need to win early. They did have a stronger early game, but it was unfortunate that Thick Boys was predicting that.
Yep. And doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, because they did get the upper hand on them walking into the bush.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, that's it's just going to basically take mid and late game into hyperspeed. We're going to just fast forward through all the laning phases. And all these scaling champs are going to scale just that much faster.
And they're just going to take this dragon uncontested. Thick Boy's just getting thicker with that Mountain Drake.
Tarek is one thick boy. Not going to lie. He's got that pink swag on.
Set.
Ooh.
That's
Set,
a pretty
though.
thick boy.
They got some.
Oh, Mr. One Bear goes in and no flash. No flash. He can't really do much about that. He was a little bit pushed up.
Nope. All he could have really done was stay under tower, give up minions.
Because it was like you said, he was close to his tower the last time, and he had to flash out.
Yep.
So him being that far away from his turret and not expecting to be gamed.
Ooh, another gank
another
coming through.
engage. But Fiora's looks like playing really safe. He knows that this Rek'Sai could come up at any time.
If you are definitely giving respect.
As she should. He is a boss.
He is. Gotta respect the boss. But Ornn is a god. I'm not quite sure which comes first, but I think gods come first. But, you know, it's all just subjective here.
I mean, we are at the 9-minute mark, so Rift Herald is up, and I believe it's just gonna go over to Thick Boy. I don't think there's much these guys can even do about it. Let's see. So Jimmy roaming over, but he's gonna be spotted by the ward. So now they know that either he's roaming mid or he's on that Rift Herald.
And it's the exact same objective control we saw from Mr. One Bear last game.
Yep.
Props to him just getting every single scuttle, taking dragon whenever it's up.
And he's just on it. He's on every objective right when it comes up. And it's always, he always has vision on it. There's nothing really Needlessly can do.
Looks like they're potentially looking for a rift setup here. Trying to get the plates before they go down. They do still have 4 minutes, but this is basically guaranteed 3 plates. Ooh,
I think it's
Mr.
like
One Bear with
2.5.
the jukes.
Yep. Yeah, Call of the Forge God doesn't land on anyone.
There it is. 3 plates, I believe they got.
Yep. Fiora does keep the turret standing though.
And not much else Fiora could have done in that situation.
But it's looking like Big Ben or Cavalier is getting a gold lead.
He is, yeah,
Or,
slightly.
CS lead.
As he should, though.
Yeah.
It looks like he's going to be building Blade of the Ruin King first.
And I believe Zaya's going Infinity Edge or
It looks like Essence Reaver to me,
Essence
which is honestly the best idea on Zaya. She is incredibly mana hungry. Her wave clear is dependent on her abilities, getting more feathers out and pulling them all back. So Essence Reaver, in my opinion, is the best choice for first item. We'll see if that's what it is, though, because it could still be Infinity Edge.
It's true. And another note, Exhaust over Ignite. Which one?
For
Which one do you
support,
prefer? Yeah.
I definitely, as Zaya, I do prefer Exhaust because we got an
We got an engage down
here.
here. Taric ult does go through and saves them. Quads goes in with his ult and Mono teleporting in. I think they can get. Wow, they got away.
Mono
Mr.
with the
Onebear is
fancy
now
feet.
here, and so is Jimmy Boopjob. They're gonna fight this. Mr. Onebear barely making it out. They do get the kill onto the Vel'Koz, but they shut down Mr. Onebear. Calavir will also fall. Big Ben, Death, Fiora, they're all down.
Oh my
And this
goodness.
could be first turret and the ace going over to the Thick Boys.
was one of the best fights I've seen all winter series.
Yeah,
It
2 for
started out
5.
heavily needlessly large rod favored. We
Correct.
had a great snare coming in from Calavir, and then the follow-up from Larry, and then they turned the tide with the teleport coming in from Mono, and then Fiora. So after that, it went definitely in Thick Boy's favor, but then Fiora teleports in, and Death rotates, turning the tide again towards needlessly large rods. But then I believe it was Mr. Onebear who knocked up Death, canceling his ult.
Yep, and then ulted him and killed
Yeah.
him immediately.
And then eventually it went out Thick Boy's way, but we got
Looks
another
like they
fight
got
right
another
here.
fight. This is gonna be a bloodbath. They're just keeping on the aggression. I know that Mr. Onebear wants this dragon. I don't think they want him to get it. They're trying to force him down, and he will fall to Cavalier.
Getting a little greedy there, a little too at himself, but this should be a free dragon. Jungler's down,
Yep.
unless
Call of the
Ooh.
Forge God coming through. Quads gets knocked up, and I believe he'll fall here to Calavir. The spell shield comes through, and Jimmy Boopjob is also going to fall. That's a double kill going over to Death.
needlessly.
A little
Holy
too aggressive there.
cow. That was absolutely beautiful. So they start with the jungle takedown from Mr. Onebear, and then Fiora with the Ornn ult. Perfect timing, perfect situation, sets
Yep.
everything up. Follow up from Larry. They had perfect focus. Honestly, just all around.
And they knew they could take that with it being a 4v5
Yeah.
because of Mr. Onebear being down, being the most fed person on the team.
Yeah, it was honestly just great communication, great follow up from everybody. Props to Needlessly, man. That was honestly, it could be a tide turner right here.
Yeah, that definitely caught the their gold lead down a little bit.
It is, but it does definitely give them a little more hope. And the gold went to the right people. It went to both Calavir and Death. They're both 3 kills, 3 assists now. So, not disappointed. I think the gold is in the right places.
Yeah.
I know Ornn is a little bit down, but
He's got that Sunfire now. There's not really a way that Set can kill him
exactly.
without Fiora making just a big misplay or overstepping way too far.
Man, Needlessly always delivers. Last week I asked
Mr.
him for
Onebear coming
ooh.
in. Calavir not expecting it, but still goes through with his ultimate will take down
Big Ben.
Mr. Onebear.
Big Ben is the hero so
much,
far in the bot lane.
so
He has-
much damage coming through from these two.
Yeah, well, and he's been fantastic with his snares.
Yeah.
He's hitting several of them that honestly have just either saved Calavir or enabled him.
Yep. And Death overstepping. Oh,
Was it,
'cause
though?
Larry is here. Oh, and just at the very tip, it takes out Death. And
Mono.
There's not much you can really do about that.
Mono with the outplay.
Call of the Forge God coming through. Jimmy Boopjob did take the first tower, and he stops the ultimate from coming through.
Nice timing.
And Jimmy Boopjob with another kill.
Honestly, he did great. He held off on his ultimate. He knows where
yeah,
the
he
majority
used his
of
haymaker to stop
Yeah.
the Call of the Forge God hit.
Yeah, well, he knows where the majority of Ornn's damage comes from. It's from the Brittle.
Yep.
And Call of the Forge God procs Brittle potentially twice. So, great job. Just holding out on your ult until it was time.
Yeah. And they do take Rift, and I think they're going to pop it mid here.
Mono having another excellent game.
This is a close one. Needless to Artrod is doing very good at responding
Yes.
to these fights.
Well, they're showing a lot of fight.
Yep, they're keeping the aggression. Mr. One Bear can't fight that.
Yeah, Mono is honestly really impressing me right now. He's
got the aggression on a Death. Death does flash away the stopwatch. Coming through, and he does get away. Tarek will make everyone invulnerable. Mono does still fall. Samuel Gray and Mr. One Bear will be next. That is a triple kill going over to Calavir.
holy cow. Thick boys, this is where they're at their peak.
Yep.
We don't want to fight them right now.
And you know what they say, the bigger they are, the harder they're falling right now.
Eh?
They gave up their gold lead here.
Too thick for your own good.
I don't know if Quads can defend this. There's not much he can do for a while. Oh, he gets the shutdown.
You spoke too soon.
Calavir. All right.
Holy cow.
He does hold them all. All right.
700 gold.
I'm underestimated.
700 gold going over to the Zaya here on quads. He just finished his Essence Reaver. Looks like the Rapid Fire Cannon coming out next. He should have almost enough. Looks like we're going to get a replay here. It's going to be that mid-fight. I believe it started out with Mono engaging. Let's take a look. Yep, here it is. Here it is. Mono engaging here on Death. Hits the Q, sees the opportunity, hits the point-blank snare, flash away from Death. Nice Zonia's coming out, and the heal from Calavir. And then right here is just the team fight prowess of needlessly large rods. They are just stacking CC.
Oh, looks like a dragon fight here. Mr. One Bear does fall immediately to Calavir. Death takes down Samuel Gray. Zaya does take the dragon and Orin with her.
Okay. Okay.
But man, what an intense fight there.
So I believe it was a 3-for-2. But the dragon did also go over to Thick Boys. And it was an Ocean Drake. So they're just that much closer to getting the soul. But if needlessly large rods can either get a dragon and delay the soul, or finish the game before they have a chance to get the soul, that dragon doesn't matter too much. They're past the laning phase. Ocean doesn't have that much impact unless you're playing a poke comp, which honestly Thick Boys is not playing a poke comp.
But
they're playing an all-in engage.
If Jimmy Boob Drop gets this that Ocean Drake, or the Ocean Soul, it's very strong on champs like Set.
Yes. Well,
or on Orin. It would be strong on either side with tankier champs. That sustain. They're unkillable.
Well, it'll be nice too. It does have nice synergy with the Terracult, because actually while you are ulted, it will heal you
passively.
Like a lot. Yeah. So it could honestly turn like fights if we do get to that point. But needlessly, honestly, looking great right now. Dominating team fights.
Very strong.
Great synergies here.
Samuel Gray does get caught with the pull. Call of the Forge God going on to quads. Does manage to dodge it. Larry going in to try and force some sort of engage. Jimmy Boob Job with the kill. Fiora will go down next. And that's 2 kills going over to Thick Boys.
Thick Boys, good job. Basically reacting to that engage. Needlessly didn't have any of their damage there. So
it's true.
In my opinion, it was a little over-ambitious for Fiora to use the Call of the Forge God there.
Oh, Jimmy Boob Job with the engage, the Haymaker, and he will get... Oh, Death makes it out.
Death!
Wow! The shutdown onto Jimmy. He got a lot of damage right there. He got a little over eager going under that turret there.
Death, man. He
Death.
is one of my favorites to watch.
He recreates it everywhere he goes.
He does create it, whether it's
Whether it's himself or his lane opponent.
But that's what I like about him. I like the bloodbaths. He gives them
Lots
to
of
me.
fighting. We're at 22 minutes into the game. We've seen almost 2 kills a minute.
I love it. Needlessly,
we're
man.
Approaching 40 kills here in this game.
Yeah. They keep me entertained for sure. These team fights are amazing. Honestly.
Yeah.
So fun to break down.
And they are keeping up they're keeping up their gold. Needs to Archrod are keeping the gold fairly even. It's a 3,000 gold lead in favor of Thick Boys right now. But that's not too much. They can, like, one Baron play here will catch it up. We'll tie it back up.
Well, and they also haven't been increasing the gold gap. It was about at the same gold difference about 6-7 minutes ago. So they haven't been. Ooh, look at that.
Oh, the engage. Mr. One Bear and Calavir do fall. Call of the Forge God going over. Tarek will keep them alive. Quad's trying to get as much damage as possible, but I think Samuel Gray and Quads will fall right here. Big Ben gets knocked out, and they live through that.
Quads.
Quads with the outplays.
Holy cow, you are
And
doing damage.
That's the ace for 1. They only took out Mr. One Bear, and they're going to try to shove and take this mid inhib.
Welcome to late game, Population Zaya. She is popping off.
Wow, that's first inhib going over to Thick Boys. And we did break that 40 kills.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. So looking back at that last fight, Quads was just doing a ridiculous amount of damage,
Yeah.
and on the other hand, needlessly just didn't have anything. We had Big Ben and we had Larry, just not the highest damage players on the team. But Quads, man. Ooh, look at that.
Oh, it looks like the engage. Mono on a killing spree. And it looks like they're just going to fall immediately. The passive goes through for Jackson. A double kill over to... Oh, Mono falls. Death takes down Samuel Gray. Quads and One Bear will fall in a triple kill to Death. But then he will recreate his name and fall as well.
Death, he had some excellent plays there. He made the best of a poor situation. They were already down to, I would have liked to see them not fight there, but they did choose to fight. But Death, man, he pulled out some kills that I didn't think he was able to, man. He is honestly doing ridiculous amounts of damage here.
Mono and Jimmy Boob Job can take down this dragon, putting them to soul point for this Ocean Soul. And Ocean Soul will make champs like Sat and Tarek unkillable.
Yep.
There will be no contesting them.
Well, even looking at that Rek'Sai, it looks like they're going Black Cleaver next. So he is going to have quite a bit of tank there. So Mr. One Bear will definitely benefit from that as well.
But we did get the 3-item spike. We got the 3-item spike on Quads now. So the Zaya is going to hurt.
Yep, it's about that time. It's about that time. At this point, needlessly, they need to be looking for picks or good engages where their whole team is present.
And they are clearing as much vision as possible, trying to just make it so they can get this. I mean, if Thick Boys are able to just take control of this game, needlessly won't be able to respond. They're going to have to keep being proactive. The proactive plays are what's really been keeping them in this.
Yeah, they've had some really great engages, honestly.
But when they've been caught out, like they were in the jungle, that's when it's seen. That's when you see Thick Boys, kind of take the lead.
Yeah, I mean, I think it may just be overconfidence when they're winning these team fights like this. They think they're doing so much damage that they get overconfident and unfortunately mess up like that. But it happens. Happens to the best of us.
Oh, Samuel Gray, they do get the two-man stun. Death will fall immediately by Quant. It looks like that's also Fiora falling over to Quant, and Calavir doing as much as he can, but I don't think he can even take down a single one.
Wow. Thick Boys winning.
Wow.
That might have been the first or second full-on team fight that they've won. Which is what we were talking about before the game started. That once they hit this late game stage,
there's not much they can do.
Yeah, needlessly
They're
is
just going to go for the end.
Ooh, are they closing the
Looks
game?
like both the turrets will fall. Larry trying to do something, but he will fall also, and that is the game going over to Thick Boys.
Thick Boys.
With another win, undefeated.
Wow. So right now, Thick Boys are 5-0.
Yeah.
They are just taking over the league right now.
It's seemingly nothing that these teams can do.
Yeah.
They're just getting knocked down by Thick Boys. I mean, there were a couple chances that Needlessly Ardrad had created for themselves.
Yeah.
But Thick Boys they were too thick.
They were too thick. Yeah, and honestly, I think Needlessly would have had a lot better chance if that cheese didn't happen.
Yeah.
Because
they didn't give that early lead.
Yeah, they were crawling back from a deficit in the beginning, and then when it came to mid game, where the team fights were coming out, they played them excellently.
Yeah, so well, and so much damage. Actually, I actually didn't think that would be like that. I would have expected the Zaya to deal the most damage. But it looks like most of it coming from Mono. Yeah, no, Mono has really impressed me these two games because he played two very different champions, contrasting play styles. You have an assassin, Ari, and then you have a split pusher slash poke. He's like an ADC Corki. You know, two very contrasting play styles. And he played both of them excellent. Let's look at the vision score of these guys. All right. It looks like, the more vision going over to... Wow, that's actually surprising. I would have guessed that Thick Boys would have had more vision. I would agree, too, because that last Death Bush that they had, which basically solidified Thick Boys winning the game, they didn't have it warded. And they walked straight into the bush. So that does surprise me too. That actually Thick Boys were winning in the vision game. Because I mean I would have guessed that they had it, but I mean that does make sense why Needlessly were able to get those slight, catches out onto Thick Boys, and were able to almost make that comeback and turn it around for them. It was a close match though. It was an excellent match. But Needlessly, I do think that comp has great potential for their team, and they play it very, very well. I'd like to see more comps like this in the future from them. And Thick Boys, I think I'd like to see... I think that Mr. One Bear did excellent in the beginning with his ganks. But their team fighting, I think they should have been looking more to disengage rather than take them on in fights. Especially going and facing them like in these straight 1v1 or 2v1 situations. It was good that everybody responded quickly, but I think that's what caught them out. All right. So next week, we are going to have Sudden Tower Destruction matching up against... Okay, I got to get ready for this one because I struggle with this one. Lord Farquaad's Star Squad. Yes. Got it. First time. and the second match will be Gar Crush 1 versus Gar Crush 3. So,
Ooh, spicy.
So I hope that it gets heated.
It better. I mean, they're basically like sister teams
Yeah.
or something. So it better be fire.
And so hopefully those are super good matches. I want to see as much action as we did in this game translated over into the whole series. That was awesome.
It was
That was a great
so much fun to watch. I enjoyed that game so much. Almost better than the Avengers. Like
game.
can't get much better than that. Non-stop action.
There's a lot of action.
Non-stop action. All right. Well, those are the games for today. Thank you so much for watching, guys. This has been the GameTyrant Winter Series. We'll see you next week. This is Honest Dragon and Shay YT signing out.
Welcome to the world, no heroes and villains. Welcome to the war, we've only begun. So pick up your weapon and face it. There's blood on the ground, go and take it. You get one shot to make it out alive. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your bones, go and take it. This is your moment. Now is your time, so prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Push through heaven. Rise, rise. They will remember you. Welcome to the climb up, reach for the sun.